Listen, man, Lonzo Ball's a bust.
There's been a conversation lately if Lonzo Ball will ever play basketball again. And truth be told, with the nature of this injury, for the past year, Lonzo Ball has been dealing with a very scary knee injury, but a lot of people don't really know what's going on. About a year ago, Lonzo Ball had a very scary injury, and we thought this would just be a short period of time that he'd be missing. But as we can see, Lonzo Ball has barely even shown any signs of recovering. In fact, multiple doctors have said they have no idea what's going on with this. They've never seen an injury like this before, which is a very scary thing to hear because we've seen injuries in the past like ACL and MCL injuries that are very bad, but at least we know what they are so we can treat them. As of right now, if we looked at an injury report, I'm pretty sure the term they're using is a torn meniscus, but doctors don't even have a real answer. Mind you, a torn meniscus can take about 3 to 6 months to repair. It's been a year. And even if we want to play the game, it could take longer, but at least by a year, we should see some progress. A lot of people have looked into the injury trying to figure out what it is, and some people have a bunch of ideas like maybe it didn't get treated right, maybe the Bulls didn't know what they were doing. In fact, from what I've seen, most people are actually blaming the Chicago Bulls medical staff because they just felt like they didn't do their job. And sure, while that is a possibility, I think I have an idea with what's going on, but this didn't happen about a year ago. This has been going on for years. Now, it's no secret, Lonzo Ball has definitely been injury prone. It seems like every time he's been on a team, he's had one big major injury. But why is Lonzo so...
That's so tough. I feel so bad for him because literally at every stage in his career, there's always been a glimpse of light. Lonzo's a good player. You know what I'm saying? Like on the Lakers, I ain't gonna lie, the efficiency stats was killing him. But Laker fans rolled for Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? He just needed more time, needed more touches, needed the offense to run through him. And then when LeBron came, it was just, fuck. I guess we have to run it through LeBron. And then he went to the Pelicans. Lonzo, Zion. I think the fit was a match made in heaven. But then injuries on both sides just, didn't work out. And now we're with the Chicago Bulls. I remember, I think it was his first season. And I think Lonzo and DeMar came at the same season. And like the Bulls were just on fire like the first 10, 20 games. I remember Bulls fans being very excited with the way the team was playing, specifically with Lonzo and how good he was as a starting point guard. And to just see his career, unfold like this is definitely unfortunate. And I don't wish this on anyone, man. Because I'm a Lonzo fan. I'm be honest. I'm gonna say why I think he's a bust here in a second. But being truly honest, I'm a Lonzo guy going into the 2017 draft. Personally, I would have picked him first going into it. Now it's Tatum. You see what I'm saying? But going into it, I was Team Lonzo. I was BBB for real. But man, this is a tough reality, man.
Nah, it does suck because it's not even on the typical season ender, never became the same guy. It's every time it was shown in your face that Soul said this, like, yo, if this happens for Lonzo, this could happen. And this player is really fucking good. Imagine 5 years from now. Like whether it's with the Lakers, Laker fans know for sure while everybody was slandering him, we was cooling. We was like, bro, just got to make the shots. And that's fine. Then LeBron gets here. He's LeBron. Shrug shoulders, you do what you do. He got us a ring, goddammit. So he goes to New Orleans. They told bro to stand in the corner and shoot threes. Started making them. So it was like, oh shit. All right, so Lonzo can shoot now. That's what's up. And then it's like, okay, it's only a matter of time before either A, they get a new coach, or B, Zion gets healthy. They start playing together. They start cooking. Sure enough, they started to cooking. Then he goes down again. Then he goes to Chicago. They start, as Soul said, they cooking with Caruso. The mini Lakers is over there doing whip numbers. He gets hurt again. The most annoying part is we've seen what Lonzo could be at 3 different stages of his career. We can imagine what he would have been, whether you think that's still the next Magic Johnson, something way lower than that, something slightly lower. We've seen what he could have possibly been time and time again, and he keeps getting hurt. It's just sad, bro.
Was just a kid. In fact, we need to talk about LaVar Ball. If you were watching the NBA around
Big
2017, or you were just on the internet in general,
BBB was crazy.
It seems like every week we had some storyline or some quote that he said that was the most insane,
the most overhated man in NBA history.
Assumed that LaVar Ball was on the pick 37, but it became very apparent as the years went on that he didn't actually believe these things, and it was more of a marketing thing, which definitely is a smart thing to do. Now, the biggest reason why LaVar Ball was famous is because he was hyping up his sons and saying all these ridiculous things that people didn't know if they were going to actually happen. I mean, it's pretty simple. the more famous LaVar
And they
got, the
hated
more
him for
famous
it.
his sons got. And as they started to get more famous, we started to learn more details about the boys growing up. And we were learning how LaVar Ball was training his sons from a very young age. But the tactics he was using were a little bit different compared to your
Keno
normal
Hills,
coaches.
Lonzo.
For example,
Hey,
he would have his sons
that was a
play
bad
competition.
man.
All three of the sons would be playing against junior high teams. And mind you, Melo, who
Hey!
was the youngest, was in kindergarten playing against way older kids. But that's not the most glaring. I feel like some coaches do that, and it's kind of an aggressive method, but it's not that detrimental. But something that can be very dangerous to someone's growth is the use of weights and not using them properly. Many workout videos of Lonzo Ball have came out over the years, and we can see that he has some of the worst form in weight training that I've ever seen.
Oh,
Having
shit.
terrible form, especially for a very long period of time, can well lead to injuries. Now, maybe some of you actually work out a lot, and in the comment section you might say, oh, I don't think this plays as big of a factor. Maybe it hurts him a little, but not that much. But what I think hurt Lonzo the most is
Over time,
AAU
yeah.
basketball. Now, AAU basketball is some of the most important basketball you can play as a kid,
AAU
especially if you want to
basketball.
make it to
I
the
wanna hear
NBA.
this.
But we're starting to notice a pattern with injuries, and they're all lining up to one common factor. Players like Lonzo Ball and Zion Williamson are two players who have played a lot of AAU basketball. And orthopedics have done a lot of research, including Baxter Holmes, who actually is a writer for ESPN, and here's what he found. They discovered that players who specialized in one sport and played year-round AAU basketball would suffer from a lot more injuries compared to others. But how much of a risk is it compared to others? Well, about 125%. And as
Now
someone
that-
who knows
hey,
a lot
that's
of people who
crazy.
have played AAU
That's crazy because in the NBA community, there's been discussion of like medical advancements, what needs to happen so that people and players don't need to load manage more. And a decent amount of people have made the argument that, yo, the reason why, even if we lessen the amount of games, even if we lessen the travel, lessen the amount of practices and all of these other things, even if we load manage that even with all the medical advancements, the reason why NBA players are getting injured so consistently, arguably more consistently than compared to the mid 2000s, even the 90s, is not because of the physicality of the game, is not because of the evolution of the game. It's literally just because people are trained, and it's almost like a necessity to make it to the NBA to be heavy and participate heavy in the AAU circuit. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of agree. I don't think basketball is supposed to be this thing that you should play year round at a competitive level. And a lot of kids who have the potential to make it to the NBA, they've just been trained. Hey, once the school season's done, on to the next season. Once that's done, Team USA shit, going on to that. After that's done, oh, the school season's back. I don't think that's healthy, dog. I do not think that's healthy for kids.
It ain't healthy. The only counter, I guess, I'm playing devil's advocate because I do agree it's not healthy. Nobody would agree it's healthy. But they may think that it's mandatory or something that you have to overcome to essentially wire your brain onto grind to consistently put in them hours, because when you get to a league like the NBA, them AAU days ain't gonna be like shit compared to it when it's all said and done, or at least that's what I assume. If an NBA player or a D1 player or whatever wants to dunk on me for that, go ahead. But yeah, I would assume that it's just a lot harder the higher level of basketball you start playing. So I guess that's why it happens a lot. Or it's either Pop's trying to live vicariously through his son. That of course is a thing too. I see why it happens. It is an unfortunate reality. I wish there was another way, and that's why the basketball thankfully has found other ways to get players to the league. But that's in terms of monetization. We haven't really found a way for like kids and shit, and it's getting scary. I don't want to go way off topic, but like we scouting 7-year-olds and shit. I know you be seeing these clips on Twitter. Yo, this third grader, like yo, like it's getting scary. So what I brought that up is because I hope we get to a point where we don't have to drill so hard in these kids' mind at the age of 8, 7, 6 what they need to be doing when they're 23. It's nice to prepare, but damn, he's a kid, bro. You want to play with action figures. God damn. God damn.
Full-time job. You got practices in the morning. You have practices after school. You might even have a game. There's so many things that AAU players have to do. So let's think about it. Who has played AAU basketball, which according to science can make you get injured more than other players? Who has not only been working out ever since he was 12 years old, but he's had some of the worst form you can see? And who is the player that has been playing basketball at the YMCA ever since he was 6 years old? So who's the player? Well, Well, it's Lonzo Ball. Everything is lining up that from Lonzo's development, it has set him up for failure. Because like I said earlier, Lonzo Ball has been very injury prone over his career. And the unfortunate reality is that this isn't something you can just reverse. These are effects that Lonzo is going to be dealing with for his entire career. There's no real way to stop this. And this injury that Lonzo has, I think this is something that was supposed to happen. Now, do I think his injury should have been this bad? Well, I really don't know. And especially the fact that doctors have no idea what's going on, that scares me even more. But maybe this theory isn't right. Maybe Lonzo Ball, he trained a lot as a kid, but that's not the reason why he's been injured. Maybe that study, all the stuff we found out that LaVar told us was either a lie or it's just a little bit fabricated. Maybe there's even the possibility it's just a coincidence and it has no relation. Well, I have another set of theories that I want to go over. I was looking on Reddit for answers. I know, what a great way to start a conversation. But someone pointed something out that I thought was very interesting. Someone said that they started to notice a pattern with the Chicago Bulls and them mishandling injuries. Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, and now Lonzo Ball. These are all examples of that. Which, now that you start to think about it, makes a lot of sense. Also, I don't know if this is just my perspective, but I feel like the Chicago Bulls are always a team that are constantly getting injured. I also found a comment on a YouTube video when I was doing some research. This person said they're a professional athlete, and when he talked to Otto Porter, who used to play on the Bulls, he told me that the Bulls fucked up his diagnosis and that they made him play on a messed up foot. I want you to take that with a grain of salt because I don't know who this guy is. We don't know if he's telling the truth, but it is very interesting that the Bulls have a very big history when it comes to medical problems for their players. Now, at the time of recording this, it is apparent that Lonzo Ball is going to be shut down for the entire season. In fact, this came out about a couple days ago. And this really does suck for the Bulls because I think losing Lonzo Ball exposed a lot about
they need to give up on the
Chicago Bulls were consistently a high seed in the Eastern Conference. In fact, at one point, I
didn't do anything with it, but it was a good run.
I noticed that when Lonzo left the team due to injury, the Bulls dramatically fell down in the standings. And if you look at the stats, you're not going to really be able to tell. You might say, oh, Lonzo's just a rotation player, but that's a lie. If you watch the game, you could see Lonzo Ball was easily a difference maker on the court. Having Lonzo on your team makes the offense a lot faster, and that was something that the Bulls really thrived on. Without Lonzo, it's being exposed that Chicago has a terrible half-court offense. Also, Lonzo was able to space the floor.
And Lonzo being
in his career, he wasn't that good of a shooter.
I thought Lonzo was a transition merchant. No cap.
In fact, he was shooting 40% from 3 on about 7 attempts. So the stats may not support what I'm about to say, but Lonzo Ball is the X factor of the Chicago Bulls. And without Lonzo, I don't think the Bulls will be a good team. And the unfortunate reality is that the Bulls might never get Lonzo back again. There's been a conversation lately if Lonzo Ball will ever play basketball again. And truth be told, with the nature of this injury, I can't give you a final answer. I feel like at the end of my videos, when I'm coming to a conclusion, I'm usually pretty confident in what I'm saying, but in this case, I'm not. I've been watching basketball for more than 10 years. I'm 18 years old. And in my life watching basketball, I have never seen an injury this bad of this magnitude. And in the past 2 to 3 years of me covering basketball, I've never seen an injury like this. As of right now, all we know is that Lonzo Ball is going to be out for the rest of the year, and there is a possibility he could return in the 2023-2024 season. I don't know what the odds are of that happening, especially with everything we know now, but if Lonzo Ball can somehow figure out what's going on and he can be treated and he does all the recovery he needs, I really hope he comes back.
Let's have the real conversation, man. Let's have the real conversation. Let me preface this by saying, number one, I'm a Lonzo fan. Right, right. I'm gonna pull the Stephen A. Number one, I'm a Lonzo fan, and number two, I really do wish the best for Lonzo. But I do think this is not a case of give him more time. He's only in his second year in the league. Lonzo was drafted in the 2017 NBA draft. It's been 6 seasons then. I do think we need to start having a discussion about the career of Lonzo and if he is potentially a bust. Right, because I do think, like Andrew Wiggins, he is in this gray area of like, okay, there was a certain level of expectations that he had going into the league. He got into the league and massively underachieved and did not meet those expectations whatsoever. But at the same time, I think as a consensus, we can say that Lonzo was a good basketball player when healthy. He can be a really good player on a championship level team. The same thing with Andrew Wiggins, which he proved last year when he was an integral part in the Warriors championship run, and they actually won the whole thing. I think Lonzo is in that realm. The thing that pushes me towards bust territory is not only the expectations thing with Lonzo, but also the health. Because when we look at Greg Oden, right? I think Greg Oden consensus, he's a bust, right? For majority of people. And then we look at Lonzo, while yes, he's been more healthy than Greg Oden, it's also like bro just can't stay healthy. Bro can't stay healthy. So he hasn't met those. First it was Magic Johnson comparisons, then it was Jason Kidd comparisons, then it was he's just not in the right situation. Right? Then it's okay, he's not even a starting point guard anymore. Hey, he's just a good backup point guard. I don't know, man. I maybe I'm tripping, Sage. But if I had to, is he a bust or not? I would say he is a bust right now. And that's not me saying he's a bad player, but I would just lean towards the bust category.
This old man doesn't learn, chat. When y'all were going on him for Wiggins, he don't learn. He don't learn about none of these guys. He's calling Fultz a bust too. Look, bro, listen here, old man. I see where you're coming from. I don't know if I can agree. It's like with Wiggins. Once Wiggins turned it around mentally, it went from, yeah, he's definitely a bust, what we're talking about, to I have no the fuck idea. It really, I'm not even trying to sound PC here. Y'all know, of all people, I don't care. But it really comes down to what you think a bust is ultimately. Did Lonzo live up to expectations? No. No, he did not. So that's a matter of, if that right there is cut and dry, then the answer is yes, he is a bust. I think we all can agree on that. However, if you are one of the people that think a bust is a bad player, obviously he's not a bad player, but I think that's weak sauce, because it's relative to where you get drafted, right? Lonzo Ball got taken number 2, Fultz got taken number 1, and Tatum got taken number 3. Obviously, there is a name above the other two. Now, if you want to go as far as to say, oh, that class is kind of I disagree with that as well. So I don't really see how Lonzo can be taken to be injury prone, not live up to expectations, and you just call it hate for saying he's a bust. But the counter to everything I've just said is, yo, when Lonzo was healthy, dog, championship teams were asking for him. That's a champion player for sure. And I know he's not a number 2 talent in a redraft, but if I'm trying to win a championship and I just need a Lonzo Ball type of motherfucker, damn it, I might take him too. Like, dead ass. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but dead ass, I might take him too if I'm trying to win a championship. And it's a perfect situation for everybody in the draft, because defense check, playmaking check, pace of play check. He can shoot the ball now. He's 6'6", so he can fit in. He's hella switchable. It was so many boxes Lonzo was checked off, and it's just unfortunate he keeps getting hurt. If I have to answer the question straight up for me personally, I'd probably say no in 7. No in seven. Only because I do view, that's how I view drafts nowadays. Like, that's why Wiggins made shit weird for me. I definitely thought he was a bust. And then he kind of just like changed who he was as a player entirely. So it was just like, oh, well, what the fuck? So like nobody was expecting, like, even if you expected Maple Jordan, it weren't this dude. Like, he doesn't play anything like Kobe or MJ at all. So it's different with him. But I'm viewing it as, if I'm trying to win a championship, would I take Lonzo Ball? Yes, but if he gets hurt, which is hella possible, and maybe that's why I'm a Lakers fan. Hi, AD. But like, if he gets hurt, damn. So I can understand anybody saying he's a bust at this point, and I too am a Lonzo fan. I love the fuck out of Lonzo Ball. I'm a real Lakers fan. I'm not one of the fake ones. I was there for Tiny Dog Ingram, Josh Hart, and Zoe. I was standing them. I was a Mr. Ice in my veins, standing them in school just because we won one game out of a week. I was happy with the shit. So it's crazy.
Regardless, though, whether we think he's a bust or not, I do just want to end the video by saying, regardless, I do wish the best for Lonzo. I wish him good health. Hopefully he has a healthy stretch in his career. And because I really, again, do think he's a really good player. But regardless, we'll see you on the next one. Shout out to Specs, by the way. That was a good,
oh, yeah,
that was a good video, man.
That was a fire video.
We'll see you on the next one, man. Peace.